Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 1 of Direwolf20's Sky Factory 4 Let's Play series. Those of you who are familiar with the modded Minecraft community are probably quite familiar with the Sky Factory series, and this is the 4th installment of Sky Factory. Super excited to give it a try, because I've heard some really good things about it. Those of you who are coming just right over from the Enigmatic 2 Expert Mode series, that series was great, but I was just kind of ready to switch it up. And I'm super excited for Sky Factory, right? Like, Sky Factory 1, 2, and 3 were all very good mod packs, and Sky Factory 4 looks awesome. So without further ado, let's get started creating a new world, which will actually be a significant, not large portion of this video, but a major factor in how this series works, because there's more than one world type in Sky Factory 4, and it's time to figure out what our options are. So these over here on the right are all the different, holy cow, that's a lot, types of worlds that you can have. And you can see some options over here on the left, like game mode survival, allowing cheats, generate, all the standard stuff that you see in like your world generation stuff, right? So my world name is going to be Let's Play World, as usual, right? And then there's an option down here called Prestige, which we'll talk about in a minute. So let's take just a moment or two taking a look at the different Sky Factory options that we have available to us. So like Sky Factory 4, that's your classic world start. And what's really cool about this is you actually get to see like what the world looks like here. What I might do real quick is jump into my options and bring my GUI scale, make it a little bit different, so that when we create our new world here, we'll have a better idea of what's going on. Let's Play World. Cool. So the Sky Factory tutorial, classic Sky Factory world with tutorial advancements to help the players learn how to play. Sky Grid, holy cow, that's complicated. Blocks and resources are generated in an infinite grid. Sky Grid mod by Funway Guy. That's amazing. That's crazy looking. Compact Sky, which is, I don't want to play Sky Factory 4 the very first time on Compact Sky, but I do want to play it eventually. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Let's Play series not in Compact, but I'm going to do a Twitch series where I'm going to live stream another instance of Sky Factory 4, and I might be playing in Compact Sky. So you start in a 3x3x3 compact machine, and that's where you have to live. So basically you have to have compact machines, and that's what's up. Amplified basically is a vanilla world, but no ore generation. Default is, so this is amplified world type. This is default, large biomes, right? No ore gen. So all these things are pretty much standard worlds, just variations on a standard world, but no ore gen. Lost Cities, looks pretty cool. Flat world type, I mean, we all know what the flat world type is, right? Peace out. Standard world made for a pacifist run. Mobs will not drop loot. If you kill a mob, you will lose the run. Okie dokie. That's cool. Coming soon. Oh, that's cool. Start with a Project E transmutation table. Unlock this world via Prestige. That is neat. And we'll talk about the Prestige system in a bit, but that is cool. Coming soon, huh? That sounds like an interesting start. Sky Factory. Start on a very large dirt tree structure by JC Griff. That is a very large tree. Stone Factory, right? So that's basically like a stone block, right? Dirt tree surrounded by stones. So that's like a stone block, kind of like we did that series. Spawn an Astral Sorcery Observatory structure by Captain Q. That is cool. Look at that. Like a giant Astral Sorcery. That is neat looking. Ooh. I have no idea what I want to do. Sky Village starts you basically in a village floating in the sky. Sea World, this one looks neat, but the next one looks even neater because it's pretty similar. You're basically inside a glass box and you're just surrounded by water. So the entire world gen is just straight up water. Lava Factory is much the same way, except that it's all lava. Which, like, I'm starting to think like how that would work, right? And when Dark Osto, who's the author of this mod pack, was creating this particular world gen type, he messaged me about building gadgets, and he said, hey Dyer, building gadgets can overwrite liquids like lava and water. Can you make that a config option? And I said, sure, no problem. Why? And he's like, well, I'm making this world pack, and, building gadgets would make that a little bit too easy. And I'm like, okay, cool. So Building Gadgets is specifically designed to not overwrite liquids in this pack, so you can't use it to like easily overwrite liquids, which is pretty cool. Ender the Sea. Surrounded by Liquid Ender. That's awesome. Remember, when Liquid Ender touches you, you get randomly teleported. So that's hilarious. Oh, that's neat. Dirt Tree surrounded by Bedrock. Between Bedrock and a hard place. That's hilarious. Rock Bottom. Dirt Tree floating over a flat world of stone blocks. Minesweeper. Dirt Tree floating over a sea of TNT blocks. So question, what happens if lightning strikes? Just questioning that. Or a creeper, right? Lights out. No skylight. That's crazy. Sticky situation. Cobwebs. Floating Dirt Tree, but instead of void, cobwebs. It's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Cobbled together. But instead of void, totally real cobblestone. I suspect that that's not totally real cobblestone. But I can only assume. But instead of void, liquid sludge. Resonant, instead of void, resonant ender. Gelid cryothium. Pyrotheum. The floor is lava. That is the best name of any map ever. The floor is lava. Floating Dirt Tree, but instead of void, lava. See? This is hilarious. Floating tree, but instead of void, water. Now featuring more squid than Sebtech. Seven Seas, nice. Chunk Norris, this is a funny one. One chunk in a void world. So literally one chunk. I don't see any ores there. So there might not be any ores inside that chunk. And I think you have to stay inside the chunk, but I'm not entirely sure. Chunk Norris. Skylands. Pretty cool looking. Floating Sky Islands. Material Girl in a material world. Floating sky islands made of resources. Look at that. So that's like a diamond island made of diamond blocks. Not diamond ore blocks, diamond blocks. That's cool. Lava Cake. Floating glass islands filled with lava. Hardcore world, right? Increased mob health, armor, and damage with permanent night. Wow. Oh, look, and it starts with Sync. Now that's interesting. Dude, I want to play so many of these. Are you afraid of the dark? Hardcore world with increased mob health, armor, and damage with no skylight. So no skylight means it's just pitch black everywhere. I have no idea what I want to pick here. I'm going to have to spend like 10 minutes figuring out all the different options. Like, I'm shying away from like a standard world, but like I don't want it to be too crazy. I don't know, like I'm super conflicted on what I want to play right now. Like I definitely want to do something cool, something different. I don't know. I mean, I'm Astral Sorcery Observatory? Yeah, maybe. That could be cool. Because you guys know I love Astral Sorcery, right? Like, I've been really into that mod lately. So that's cool. Lava Factory looks like it might be crazy. I don't know if I want to do that one, though. I'm not entirely sure. Bedrock your world, between Bedrock and a hard place. Let me think about this for a few minutes. And then once I decide what world I want to play, then we'll talk about the prestige system and whether we're going to do that or not. Alright guys, I think I've settled on a decision here. I think I'm going to go with the Observatory, because I like Astral Sorcery. I don't think it has any actual sorcery structures in it, though. I actually did spin up a world just to check it out, because I wanted to make sure that it was a sky block, not a standard world gen with an observatory in it, but a sky block with an observatory floating in it. And that's what it is. It is a sky block, so it's basically like a pre-made building, which perfect for Dire, right? Like, yeah... That's right up my alley, is a structure that already exists in the world. So it's basically a sky block with a building already made for you to live in. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it does kind of take away from that sky blocky feel of like, all right, you're standing on one block and you have to build the wood slabs around you and then eventually make cobblestone and build the cobblestone slabs around you. But like, how many times have you guys seen me do that, right? I think quite enough. Right, that you could probably say like, yeah, Dire, we've seen you do the wood slab thing around a single block before. So I think I'm going to try out this one just because it's cool looking and I like the looks of it, and I think it'll be neat to check out. So that's kind of the plan, is we're going to do that. So we'll start with Observatory, and I think I'm going to turn on Prestige. And I've been reading about the Prestige system. Basically what it is every time you complete like a chapter in the quest book for Sky Factory, you'll earn a Prestige point that you can use to unlock a certain thing. Now I think that Prestige are global and persist through all Prestige-enabled worlds. So it's almost like a roguelike style gameplay where like you play through the game once and you unlock some Prestige points, and then next time you go to play the game, you have those points available to you to unlock some stuff that makes your life a little bit easier. So that sounds interesting. I do want to try it out. I've read some pros and cons on the Prestige system, so we're going to try it and see how it looks, and kind of go from there. Does that sound like something of a plan? I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to enable the Prestige system and just try it out because it sounds cool to me. So that's what's up. All right, let's spin it up and check this place out. Tip: there are multiple world types available. Yeah, I figured that out already. That was cool. Try not to let horsepower leads cross chunk boundaries. Okay, I'll do my best. Ooh, yeah, F7 to see light levels. That's what's up. Oh, hello. Prestige enabled. Press P to see the available rewards, and single-player prestige and unlocks are global. Multiplayer prestige and unlocks are limited to that server only. Sweet. All right, so definitely start on a sky world here. I like the skybox. Like, that is cool looking. Isn't that cool looking? How cool is that? The other nice thing about this area is that there's a Feral Flare Lantern here. And if we turn on chunk boundaries, pretty sure Feral Flare Lanterns just light up in a one chunk radius all around. So like the chunk it's in and then one chunk on each side and corner. So this is a pretty nice building that we start in, which is cool. And we get to have a sky block, but we start with a nice building. So Dyer doesn't have to get yelled at for living on a cobblestone platform his whole life. That said, though, if you guys want to submit some buildings for me, feel free. I don't have any particular needs just yet, obviously, but if you're like, hey, here's a cool building I made, I think you might like it, feel free to submit it via Twitter the usual way, and maybe I'll build it. So let's get started. So first off, Prestige. Wow, that's cool. So basically, Prestige unlocks some pretty cool and useful stuff. So I guess it's the ability to craft these things that you get. Now you're thinking with portals. Unlocks portal gun mod. Cool. Unlocks the block needed to build a Tinker's Construct smeltery. Interesting. So by default, yeah, see, look, it's not even shown here. So it's the same mechanic as like SevTech or some of the others, right? It's not shown in JEI. It's not shown in some other things. Like portal gun's not even listed there, right? But if you unlock it with Prestige, that's cool. Switch back. Ooh, oh, hello. Wow, nice. Trippy, but cool. So it looks like Zen Garden. Unlock the Hopper Bonsai to further automate resource collection. That's one prestige point, right? But Project E coming soon, 100 prestige points. Holy cow, that's a lot. Rockets, Mega Torch, Age of Information. Unlocks the Open Computers mod. Neat. Unlocks Mistcraft mod. Cool. Enables ore excavation. So ore excavation is disabled by default. Skylight Forest. Unlocks the Twilight Forest mod. Set in a void world. How does that work? Explain how Twilight Forest would work in a void world. Maybe each of the structures with bosses in it spawn, but no like dirt and everything else. Mob grinder utilities. Nice. Okay, that's an important one. Mystical agriculture. Skip the early game grind by receiving a bag full of items to help you get past early game. This will give you a bag right away and a bag on every new world until sold. Interesting. All right. Fertile soil. Upgrades bonsai growth and loot drops growth rate. Okay, cool. Brown mulch, yellow mulch. That's cool. So you can boost your bonsai trees, because I think there's a mod in here that basically makes most of your resources can come from trees. Gives access to edible pills, allowing you to turn into a matter overdrive android. You'll be able to upgrade your body with a variety of buffs. That's cool. Neat. And you'll also trade eating food to recharging your batteries. That's cool. And then slime tree stuff, portal gun, weird flux, but okay. That's awesome. Oh, Darko has an amazing sense of humor, and he's a funny dude. So that unlocks flux networks. Cool. So that's interesting, right? So prestige mode unlocks some powerful mods that are interesting, right? And that's kind of cool. Some of these things I definitely want to unlock, right? But like 100 prestige points, that's shenanigans. That seems like a very large number. But maybe that's because it's not implemented yet. Because it does say coming soon. So I don't even know if Project E is in the pack. I'm assuming that we wouldn't see it if it was. But I could go look at the files and see if the actual mod is there. Because theoretically, if it is there, then we'll know. So let's see. Mods. Project E. Yes, it is in the pack. But it's gated behind that thing. So that's cool. Now, if we open up the advancements tab, so we can see we have several things going on. Prestige is one. Advancements for the prestige system. Yeah. Cool. Yes, that's interesting. So from what I understand, every time you complete a chapter, you earn a prestige point. I would hope it's not like this whole thing, because that's a lot of things to get my first prestige point. Ah, I see. So check this out. So I'm looking at some of the quests here, and this one here called You Win. Complete all the advancements on this page will award you with 1 prestige point. Interesting. Okay. So I'm understanding prestige a little bit better. Same thing here, right? Completionist. That I'm assuming does the same thing, right? 1 prestige point for doing all the things. Okay. So basically each of these chapters will earn you a prestige point. That's kind of cool. I like that concept because it's like, hey, the more... Like, if you play the pack once, right, you don't start with any prestige points. But theoretically, next time I play this pack, I will have some stuff. Now, there's another way to earn prestige, which is a little bit interesting. And I read up on this a little bit before I decided to turn on prestige mode. Apparently, there's a block called the Parabox. And what happens is you give it RF. And if you're giving it enough RF, which isn't a huge amount, it'll basically generate prestige points for you every 10 minutes. But there's a catch. In order to receive those prestige points, you have to deactivate the prestige box. And when you do so, it reverts your world, the entire save that you have, back to the point when you first activated the prestige box. So basically, any progress you make from the point you activate the box to the point you deactivate it is lost. Interesting mechanic. What I'll probably wind up doing is some of that between episodes. Like, I'll kick off at some point in the future, right? When we say, like, man, I really need some prestige points, right? We'll wrap up an episode. I'll activate the prestige thing, go AFK for, like, an hour, come back, deactivate it. It'll revert my world back an hour, but I will have done nothing, right? And then I'll get 6 prestige points from that, right? That's cool. To end the loop, press loop off button, and the game will close. Restart your world to collect your prestige and go backwards in time. That's interesting. That's cool. So, interesting mechanic. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, because it basically encourages going AFK. Because there's nothing you can do while doing prestige points. So I guess we just get going, right? So let's do the thing. So first off, hey, cool. I already completed a quest. I got a dirt acorn. Now, unfortunately, oh hello. That's a bad spot for that stairwell to be. Unfortunately, vein miner is locked. I'm already having problems, guys. Unfortunately, now here's a question, right? Vein miner is totally locked. That's cool. So it has like, oh, hello. We get dirt resin. Nice. So this is from Sky Orchards, the mod, it looks like, based on the tooltip there, which is cool. And from what I understand, this is basically one of the options for resource generation is trees. Right, which is why Hopper Bonsais is a really good thing to get with one of your first prestige points. By the way, you don't need to have prestige mode on. Like, that's more like a difficult approach, right? If you want, you can play with prestige mode off, and you'll just have, access to vein miner and all those things right away. But I decided to play like a slightly more challenging approach. Man, that is cool. That is cool beans right there. So you're going to do that. And we already unlocked our first quest. Starting from the bottom. Turn a dirt acorn from dirt tree leaves. They can also be used as a food source, cooked raw, or cooked in a furnace. And then we got the dirt tree. Craft a dirt block using dirt acorns and dirt resin. So, okay, that's not so bad. So what we'll probably want to do is take this bad boy here, do the thing, and we've got our first Tinker's Table. Huzzah! I like it. And now we should be able to make dirt. Wow, there's a lot of ways to make dirt, but this is what we want. Ta-da! Dirt, he dancing. Funny. Funny guy. So what I'll probably do is just move you to make my life a little bit easier. Green particle effects when we're doing the thing. Alright guys, so I am now making a crook for myself so I can get more saplings a little bit more quickly. Because one of the quests I have is to get more saplings. So I made myself an axe and I, grew a couple trees. Minor off-camera work there. Hey, achievement made. Sticky keys. Everybody wants sticky keys enabled, right? Huzzah. So that's an interesting mechanic. I like this so far, the tree thing. It's nifty. It's definitely nifty. Huzzah! All right, so we've got enough saplings and whatnot now to get the sticky keys achievement. So it's the achievement system, very similar to SevTech, right? So you don't really quote-unquote get rewards, but you do get prestige points for completing an entire chapter. So we have a lot to do to get prestige point number 1. But hopefully it'll make my life a little bit easier. And also, consider that once we get the hopping bonsai, because that's the goal, right? Once we get that, then we can plant all these things. Look, like eventually, by the end of this chapter, we're going to have diamonds, right? So that's cool, right? Redstone, ironwood, that's nifty. All right, so let's see what's next in this chapter, right? Obtain a Tinker's Construct drying rack. I mean, we can do that pretty easily, right? I'm pretty sure that's just some wood slabs. Yeah. I don't know what we need it for, but we will put it to good use, no less. All right, so done and done. Cool. So next one is craft a Petrified Sapling. Okay, so that, craft a rustic crushing tub. Well, let's try Petrified Sapling first. So a Petrified Sapling comes from Petrified Acorns, right? And Petrified Logs. I'm not getting a good indication of what these logs do. I'm assuming this gives you cobblestone, but I'm not seeing that. So, oh look, hey, that's cool. Gives you petrified resin, which can be used to make cobblestone. Yay! And eventually, some other things. So to make a petrified acorn, oh, we just have to dry an acorn for a minute. Well, that's cool. Okay, well that explains why we needed what we needed, right? So let's do this. And throw some acorns up there. And then a petrified sapling is just a dirt sapling with 8 petrified acorns around it. So in a minute, we should have a petrified acorn. Nice. Now, is it me or like is it different that the particle effects for like when you do the shift thing are flying towards the tree? I'll tell you, not having Vein Miner makes me a little bit regret prestige mode, but at the same time, I'm interested in a new mechanic, right? Like, how many Minecraft mod packs have I played at this point, right? Like, prestige is a new mechanic. I want to give it a try, and I'm interested in it. And it doesn't look like there's anything too bad gated behind it. There's a few things gated behind it that I'm like, ooh, that would be nice to have, right? But nothing too crazy looks to be seriously gated behind prestige. You know, if we were to really look at the prestige points thing, I think the main things that we would be interested in, like to get started in a world, would be vein mining and hopper bonsais. Everything else is considered a nice to have in my mind. And we're just gonna have to figure out, like, you know, what our thoughts are on the whole prestige gen process. Like, I can totally do that off camera a bit, so I'm not super worried about it. And I think that's probably what's going to wind up happening, right? Like, I'll do it off camera a bit. Another crook, please. So, like, when I decide, hey, I really want a portal gun, right? What I'll do is I'll say, all right, that costs six things, right? 6 prestige points. Do I not have a trash can? I thought I had a trash can. Maybe I don't. Oh, well. See you later, buddy. I just made a trash can. Like, I'll probably just, like I said, you know, we'll end an episode, say come back next time, I'm going to run the prestige generator thing, kick it off. But like I said, the only thing I'm a little bit hesitant on is I don't love the concept of the only way to generate prestige points off camera like that would be, or, you know, to generate prestige points, short of replaying the pack multiple times, obviously. The only way to really generate prestige points is by going AFK. Seems counterintuitive to me. But, I mean, we'll try it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just, you know, thinking out loud at this point. So there's these guys. So now I should be able to do this and do this, and we've got a Petrified Sapling. Nice. Now when we grow this dude, I think this is going to get us our first cobblestone, which should be interesting. Hey, look at that. Leaves. Okay. I'm getting the idea here. This is interesting. I like this. Okay. So we're getting the saplings and the acorns and the resins from this tree that are going to let us make cobblestone. In theory. I don't know if I've played a mod pack before where trees are the main source of generation of resources. Definitely different for sure. So that means, presumably, I can use you to get cobblestone, which I presume is my next quest, right? Bada bing, bada boom. There's an achievement on the rocks. Huzzah. Look, on the rocks. Yay. So that's cool. Craft a rustic crushing tub. Crushing tub. Now, I assume what this is going to do... Interesting. That makes some kind of liquids. That's cool. You can turn saplings into water. Ooh, I see. Okay. Do I have the resources to make one of those at the moment? I totally do. I totally do. So I'll just pop these dudes right here. How's that sound? And then I don't see any progress bar or anything to indicate how well that's going. And I also don't want to give it all my dirt saplings, right? That seems like a bad idea. Cool. What was it, like 100 millibuckets of water per sapling? Yeah, so technically what I want to do is have 10 of these in here, and that should be a bucket's worth, right? Do they just sit in there, or like, what's the deal? Oh, hello. Haha, that's cool. That is cool. I mean, it's a crushing tub. I just logically assumed there's a thing that goes on there. So I need a clay bucket in order to collect this. So clay acorns. That's an interesting question. Oh, clay sapling. Dirt and petrified resin and a dirt sapling should get me a clay sapling. Cool. Okay, now we're cooking. What's up, clay Aiken? Do the thing. Now the trick here will be getting enough cobblestone for a furnace. That won't be too much of a trick, really, but it's something to consider. Oh yeah, you're Kaputski. Vein mining definitely would make life a little bit easier right now. I'm tempted to just like to just like make it really fast happen, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think I should be able to get a prestige point quickly enough. I know one of my first prestige points is going to want to be the hopper bonsais, though. So what I might try and do is make like a prestige generator pretty quickly in the first episode or two, and if I can do that, hopefully they're not too expensive to make. So what are those things called? Craft a parabox. So a parabox just needs some iron, and an advanced energy cube, and a space-time equalizer. Needs titanium. Oh wow, that's actually quite a lot of effort. All right, so we're not getting a parabox too soon. So we're gonna have to decide what our plan is with the whole vein mining thing. But that got me clay. So clay resin plus clay acorns equals clay. Well, that's cool. I'm getting the hang of this so far. And just imagine once we have like hopper bonsais and stuff producing resources for us, this could get pretty shenaniganry. Oh, you know what we need to find out? No time in a bottle? No random things? Shenanigans. Is there an acceleration wand? There's not. We have to figure out a tick accelerator, guys. I might need to add random things to this pack just so I can have a time in a bottle. I'm not saying I'm addicted, but I'm addicted. All right. So this should get me everything I need to get the last bit of clay that I need. And that should get me my water. And my plan then is to figure out how to get a lava bucket, and then we can get cobblestone via the old standard, right? Like your standard cobblegen structure thing, right? And then once we get cobblegen going, then we're really cooking. Okay, so progress made. That is my first clay, which can turn into you, which can turn into a clay bucket, which needs to be fired, by the way. So do we have slab furnaces? We do. So that's slightly cheaper by way of cobblestone, right? So we're totally going to need more cobblestone, which needs a lot more cobblestone trees. Petrified saplings are going to be a big need here in just a moment. So let's get some more dirt so that we can grow more trees. I would really love vein miner at this point. This is the point where I'm like, really kind of want vein mining. I'm trying not to like destroy this poor temple that I've already, you know, infested with direness, but so that's clay, that's petrified. So we need lots more of this. So let's get all these things grown. So what I'm going to do here then is probably wrap up the episode, and we'll come back next time and get really started on Sky Factory, right? Like I want to progress, get some resource gen going on, get some, you know, different mechanics, and figure out like, because there's a lot of different mods in this pack, and you have to play it a little differently than other packs, from what I understand. That's the understanding that I have, right? So we'll see. For now, Untitled signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Brand new series hype. I'm very excited, and I hope you are too. All right, guys, take it easy.